reporters at the New York Times, as well as the Washington Post, and maybe other papers. It's possible all this could be part of the CIA leak investigation. Here to talk about it, Air America radio host Rachel Maddow. Rachel, welcome.
Hi, Tucker. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you. Brian Ross is actually I think a very serious guy, a good reporter. Made this allegation, or brought up the possibility. FBI has not denied it. Seems like it's likely true.
Yeah.
It goes without saying that most Americans will not care. Also goes without saying I'm very offended by this. I think the deeper lesson, though, is these leak investigations are themselves off track. I mean, liberals have kind of been, in a lot of ways, behind, this leak investigation. Yeah, get to the bottom of the leak. But in the end, leaks are good for the public. They tell us more about how our government works. And I think an investigation of this kind is a challenge to the First Amendment.
I think a leak by the government to smear a political opponent is a different type of leak than a leak about something the government is doing that's illegal. I think I differentiate between them. I don't have any. I don't feel any that I'm doing anything hypocritical by being in favor of the Valerie Plame leak investigation, and a little bit offended that they're going through reporters' phone records in order to get to the bottom of the NSA spying leak.
So leaks are good when you agree with the leak.
No, leaks are good when they're about the government doing something illegal we wouldn't find out about without the leak. Leaks are bad when they're by the government for the purposes of smearing people.
Well, you could say in the Valerie Plame case, and I believe this to be true, that Joe Wilson totally unqualified to investigate anything, much less whether Niger had the makings of nuclear material. And second, that he was sent there by his wife, and that this is exactly the kind of nepotism that we frown upon, that the civil service was created to prevent. And I want to know that.
He was the head of the Africa office in the National Security Council. I mean, he's a guy that has, whether or not it was okay for Joe Wilson to go there, what happened was the government decided to leak something about his wife in order to shut him up. I'm really happy with that being investigated. What's amazing to me about this ABC story tonight,
though... You're really happy with... Because this is what it means to investigate it. When you say I'm happy for this being investigated, it means the government tracking the phone calls of reporters. Are you happy with that?
No, it means the government subpoenaing the phone calls of the reporters. It doesn't mean the government collecting the phone calls of every American in the country. Okay. Every single phone call we've made since 2001, putting it in a giant database and using it to track down their political enemies.
No, but that's to get Al-Qaeda. This, Brian Ross,
right.
Or not, but that's separate. Okay, whatever. I'm not even arguing that. But this is completely separate. Brian Ross is saying, look, they're tracking my phone calls because they want to know where this information came from. That's what it means to investigate a leak, is to go after reporters, as they're going after Brian Ross and Richard Esposito at ABC News.
Right.
You're for that?
No, listen, investigating a leak is one thing. The scandal here, Tucker, I think you're missing it. The scandal is that this is what the NSA wiretapping scandal is all about. Every data analysis, data mining, traffic, social network analysis person I've talked to about this says there's no way that collecting every phone call in the country is going to help you anticipate and stop terrorist attacks. It's not going to work. What it's going to work for is going after political opponents.
But
so that's what it's for.
These are entirely two different things, and I guess I am more likely to support it if I think it's going to prevent another terror attack.
Which it's not.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But at least that's the justification, which is a real justification. The justification for going after these guys' phone records, we need to find out who leaked Valerie Plame's name, that's creepy.
It's creepy for them to be using the NSA spying scandal to go after reporters. A year ago, we would have thought that today's revelations were absolutely Orwell kook paranoid nightmare. The FBI press office confirmed this tonight. They're using the NSA spying scandal to go after reporters.
I don't think this has anything to do with the NSA spying scandal, so to speak, but I will say you can't be too paranoid about the government and its power when it comes to national ID cards, when it comes to your phone records, when it comes to a lot of things that the left supports, including speech codes, in my view. I'm serious, you can't be too paranoid.
Up until your smear on the left, I was totally with you.
No, but they don't support... Now we're out of time, sadly. But I've got many more things to say to you, Rachel.
You can give me a call later, Tucker.
Good, well, you'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Still to come, America.